How would you react if your family told you your partner wasn't good enough to come to a wedding? I'm 24 and I have a twin brother. We've always been incredibly close, that unbreakable bond you read about in books. When I went to college, I met my boyfriend, Mark. We've been together for 3 years and he's become a part of my soul. He doesn't come from a wealthy family. He's a furniture restorer who works with his hands, a true artist. But he's the kindest, most genuine person I know. When my brother proposed to his girlfriend, I was over the moon. I introduced them to Mark and I thought they got along great. His fiance even smiled and asked if Mark would be my +1 at the wedding. I happily said yes, feeling like we were finally about to become one big family. For the next 5 months, Mark and I were so excited. He even handcrafted this incredible carved wooden box as their wedding gift. We spent over $1,000 on flights and a hotel since the wedding was out of state. It was so important to me to stand by my brother on his happiest day with the man I love by my side. Then, less than a month before the wedding, the phone rang. It was my brother. I knew from his voice, cold and distant, that something was wrong. After some awkward silence, he finally spit it out. "Hey, so is Mark really planning on coming?" My heart just sank to the floor. He told me Mark couldn't come. The reason? His fiancée felt he didn't fit the image of their perfect wedding and family, that his blue-collar job would look out of place among their guests of lawyers and doctors. He still expected me to fly out alone, wear a pretty dress, smile for all the photos, and pretend the most important person in my life didn't exist. I was furious, but I tried to fix it. I called my parents and told them everything. They were shocked and said it was ridiculous, that they loved Mark, and that my brother was letting his fiancée manipulate him. My dad even promised to talk to him. I thought that would solve the problem. But a week later, my brother called again. The excuse had changed. Now it wasn't about Mark's status. It was that he was supposedly too blunt and might make some guests uncomfortable. A complete lie. And then I found out the worst part. One of the bridesmaids was bringing her new boyfriend, a guy with a terrible reputation around town. When the fiancé was called out on it, her excuse was, "Well, she's my friend, so it's different." The hypocrisy was staggering. It was never about the guests. It was about them being ashamed of my boyfriend. That's when every ounce of patience and hope I had just vanished. All the love and hope I had for my brother's future just shattered. I video called him, looked him right in the eye, and asked, "Tell me something. If I told you that your fiancé wasn't welcome at my wedding, would you still come?" The silence on the other end was deafening. He just stared, unable to answer. He knew he couldn't. And that's when I laid down my final boundary, my voice shaking but firm. "If the person I love isn't welcome at your wedding, then neither am I." He muttered something about me being selfish and hung up, so I didn't go. The day of the wedding was torture. My phone blew up with texts from relatives and friends asking where I was. My mom had to deflect questions all night, and my absence became the very spectacle my brother claimed he wanted to avoid. My decision to stand up for my dignity and for the man I love destroyed my relationship with my twin, my other half. That bond I thought was forever is just gone. I learned a bitter lesson. Sometimes you have to let go of the people you thought you couldn't live without, just to save yourself.